Yo, what is going on, everybody? Need4beans over here. In this video, I will be talking about why I switched to keyboard and mouse and what I think about it. So I was playing controller for about 27 days, and 3 days ago I switched to keyboard and mouse on PC. And I just want to talk a little bit about why I did that and what I think about it. So let's go to live scene and I'll tell you guys. So the reason I switched to keyboard and or to PC in the first place was because I wanted higher frame rate. So if they're on the top, you can see the frame rate right next to the map on the top right. And it's at about what 90 frames, 70 at the lowest. And this is on a really busy island, so usually it's much higher. So first, my idea was to switch to controller on PC because it's just the same thing as on PS4 except um, more frame rates, which is just better response rate, and there's no denying that higher frame rate is better. So I did that for a little bit, and then I was like, all right, let me just try mouse and keyboard because everybody talking about it. I just want to try it, and literally the first hour I played on it, like the first time I even touched it, I was editing a million times faster and building was the best thing. I started building finally, like I can get ground and I can fight with people, do build fights. Before that, my biggest problem on controller was building. So I just wanted to show you just the reference. So this is my third day playing on uh, keyboard and mouse, and I just wanted to show you a YouTube video that I took a few days ago, I think last week, and it was the latest YouTube video here, and it was about my editing. Top 3 edits every beginning Fortnite player should know and practice. So this is one of the edits I would practice for hours, hours and hours. I'd practice this, and I got okay. I mean, this is how fast I could do it. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that speed is not really consistent, but I could kind of do it, and that was after 27 days. All right, so let me show you guys how fast I can edit just after literally 3 days. And this is the same speed I used to edit when I first started playing. So check it out. See that? It's faster than what I did on the controller, and it's actually more reliable, more consistent. That was the first thing I noticed. Honestly, my edits went super quick. And once I got my binds right, I pretty much caught for my binds. I will do another video on that, but I pretty much copy T-Fuse binds. I went through a few different binds, and T-Fuse just made the most sense to me, so I decided to do that. But anyway, I'm not gonna be doing this. You can see it's just a lot faster than what I would do on controller. So the next thing was building. Building really makes things easier because you have such a better response time, and you can click so many keys with a keyboard, right? With a controller, you still have those 4 keys, but you're using the same hand, the triggers and to aim. So it's just still kind of hard. I mean, you can be a great builder on controller, but it takes a lot more practice. So as soon as I started, playing on the PC, I could just do all this crazy stuff, really without worrying too much, and it wasn't even that big a deal. I could keep track of my opponent better, and I could finally do those, build fights. I mean, I could never build this on a controller. I don't know why. It just didn't make sense to me. The one thing I will say is, for example, on the controller, my strong suit was I had really good aim. I used to play Destiny and a bunch of games. My aim is pretty good on controller, and there's aim assist, so you have really good aim if you're using a controller. But building and editing, I wasn't that good at. I was okay at editing, terrible at building. But on PC, I'm great at editing, great at building, but my aim is pretty bad. Aim is pretty bad, so it's hard to aim. So the solution everybody does, and you'll notice this if you look up keybinds for pros, is their DPI. DPI is just the mouse sensitivity here. Their DPI is extremely low. So I'm playing in 700 DPI, and you also have a setting in the game which multiplies that number so you get a higher response rate. But the pros, you play on 400 DPI, and they have a smaller sensitivity than where it multiplies here, your sensitivity. 20% and 50%. For them, it's about 8% and like maybe 12%. It's very low. So what that allows you to do is, let's say if I just lower my DPI to like, let's say 400, and this is still faster than some of the pros because their multiplier is higher. But what it allows you to do is, let's say you need you have a gun, get a gun. It's on my island. Let's grab a gun. Aiming, it allows you to aim very precisely because you have low DPI. But the problem is, because you have such low DPI, when you start building and you need to do all those crazy moves, you know, like all the 90s and whatever else you do, that it's harder to do. You really have to move your hand like a lot. So if you notice, if you actually notice, for example, I watch Tfue a lot. If you look at Tfue when he plays, his hand actually goes all over the place. It goes you know, a lot. So that was the hardest thing for me to get. That's why I play on relatively high sensitivity, 700. It's relatively high, and it allows me to like build still pretty nice without moving my hand too much. And the aim is, you know, bearable. But just like in other games, you would increase your sensitivity. In Fortnite, it would a lot of times make sense for you to decrease it instead. So slowly decrease it. I started off at 800 DPI. And what I did was I lowered it to 700 and added a little bit of acceleration. I have a Razer, the Razer Typon, but whatever mouse you have, you can always get something to give you acceleration, but that's not really important. Acceleration is like if I want to do because when you're aiming, you know, you're not accelerating. You're like, you're still like, you know, tracking the target. It's when you're building that you're just doing these crazy moves, and that's why acceleration helps because. Now, if you want to do a 360, let's show you guys. Just normally, I have to move my mouse pretty much 70% of the width of my mouse pad. But if I do acceleration, let me do like that again, like that. It does it slightly smaller, so it's about like 50%, half of my mouse pad. It just helps a little bit. But acceleration, I feel like it kind of mess with things. But I'm just testing it out, so I might just turn it up a tiny bit so you just feel like when you really are moving the mouse. So those are my thoughts about keyboard and mouse and why I switched. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'll definitely be happy to answer them. And I probably will also try out controller on PC again, just maybe in a few weeks, just to see how it compares once I get my keybinds a little more sorted on PC. So thank you guys all for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and turn on those notifications. I will see you guys in the next one. Need for Beans out. Peace. Hey.